I am audible to you all.
Yes, Lakshmi, we can hear you.
Okay, thanks, Asiri. Right, so welcome to the second session of Oracle for going to help by Oracle Forum Sri Lanka. Right, today is going to be the second session and of a continuous series of sessions that we are planning to conduct. Right, so just would like to say a few words about this, what you are trying to plan. Or of course, we would like to make this a platform, right? Platform for everyone to come and show their skills, what they know, right? Do presentations and enhance yourself, right? So initially, we might start with technologies related to Oracle, but there are no such restrictions. You all can present yourself about the technologies that you all are aware of, right? So just make it a learning platform for everybody, right? So about talking about today's session, let me just give a brief introduction to the resource person that we are having today, Mr. Gohulan. Gohulan has been, it's a great profile in Sri Lanka for Oracle. He's having more than 10 years of experience dealing with various technologies, including database, basic normal database, structural work, maintaining single instances, maintaining multiple instances, going into high availability, clustering, data guard, and not restricting to OLTP environments, going into warehousing. And so not only that, he's into WebLogic and especially the today's subject in Apex, web-based rapid application development, right? He's expert on it, right? And not only that, he has expertise on Oracle Autonomous Cloud as well, right? Okay, so why wait, right? Without further delay, let me start. Let me request Mr. Gohulan to continue his session. Okay, it's over to you, Gohulan. Yes, enjoy the session. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Lakshmi, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Every one of you in the family are healthy and safe. Welcome to Oracle DBA Group, Sri Lanka. And I am already Lakshmi sir. I am Golan and Senior Consultant for Oracle Hospitality Products and Billable Contractor for Oracle. So today I'm going to do a session on build your low-code application with Apex in the autonomous database. So before I go to this session, I would like to remember two things. One is rapid application development. So in earlier 2000, most of the people should heard about this one, rapid application development. So most of the companies in earlier 2000, they were trying to develop a tool or application with a graphical user interface to develop the code. So when we think about a application or development, it should be a traditional hand coding. So up to now, traditional hand coding is the main thing we are developing applications. And in the approach to traditional application development, developers are creating mobile, desktop, web, and so many applications. But this low code application also similar to that. So using an interface, a developer or user just by drag and drop a feature through a graphical user interface, he or she able to build a proper world-class system without a complexity of traditional hand coding. So in this session, I will do some hands-on labs as well. So first, we will look what's low code and what is Apex and what is autonomous database first. And Later on, we will move on to the lab session. So my session will take around 90 minutes. And after the 30 minutes discussion, we will have some chat about this low code application or Apex, or else we can have the Q&A session. Okay. So when we talk about low code, we have a definition. I define like this: develop application with graphical user interface instead of traditional hand coding. So if we take traditional hand coding, we have huge number of lines, huge number of complex codes, such as syntax, variables, and etc. etc. Most of the developers know about that one. So even though if we develop the application with 1,000 lines of code, at the end of the day or in the live session, we will have numerous errors, such as runtime error or syntax error or whatever the error, and we will debug or we will do some testing and we will find out what are the errors and we will sort it out this. So instead of writing these thousands lines of complex code, what will happen if we create an application or graphical user interface to generate that thousands of line by drag and drop some components like text box or buttons or radio button. So if just drag and drop the components to the interface, the traditional hand coding will automatically generate in the backend. So in this case, the user or developer doesn't need to have a much knowledge about coding or traditional coding. At the other side, if we look at a normal application or data-driven application, we need to have a DBA or database advisor to develop their database and application separately, and we need to have a connectors, and whatever the application we are creating or generating, it will save into the database. So after that, we will read the data from the database. So if those two complexity, if we take in a one place by drag and drop, or we have a interface or graphical user interface to do these all complex code things. So let's define low code, develop application with graphical user interface instead of traditional hand coding. So by this, thousands of complex codes are replaced by a drag and drop interface. So I hope now you will get an idea what is low code. So low code is the sense, the minimal traditional hand coding. That's the thing. So let me look what is Oracle Apex. So Oracle Apex stands for Application Express. So one of the low code platform developed by Oracle is called Apex. So how this Apex is run, this Apex enables you to build scalable, secure enterprise apps with lot of features that can be customized and can be deployed anywhere. Yes, that's true. Because if we develop an application with Oracle database with our own or using our traditional programming language, we need to do the scalable manually. And we need to secure by doing some automation testing or vulnerability testing. We need to give a valid secure app to the client. Or else, if we need to have a features, then each and every features will go to the client or customer with patch or update. And customized, or if we take the database side, it should be a different. That means we need to look the database in a different way, monitoring and maintenance difference. So for these all problems or for all these issues, the only one solution is Oracle Apex. If this application platform enables or approach you to build scalable, secure, and enterprise app with lot of features, lot of world-class features actually. Okay, so in this, actually right now, most of the companies and most of the small business, they are using Oracle Apex instead of developing traditional hand coding application. So why Oracle Apex? The first thing, 90% of hand coding can be eliminated. Yes, that's right. So if we go with the hand coding, we need to have a much time to write code, and if we get a problem, we need to debug it, we need to Google it, and we need to solve it. So it will take around almost huge number of days to finish the project. If you are a developer, you should know about this one very well. So 90% of the hand coding can be eliminated. And the second thing, lighter weight and lower cost. So lighter weight in the sense, if we are developing a traditional hand coding application, we need to have the reference and other stuff such as frameworks or whatever the library we are including. So those kind of things we need to implement with our project. So we need to include in our project. So with this Oracle Apex, we don't need to worry about this one because this is a web browser based. So it's a lighter weight. We don't need to add any library or reference to our project. It automatically take whatever it's need in the backend. Actually, we don't want to see that also. And lower cost. So we are comparing this all Apex or low code with our traditional hand coding. So if we go to traditional hand coding, the cost will be high because there are so many personnel involved in the traditional hand coding, such as senior developer, junior developer, GUI, interface developer, UX. So many persons. So it will give a big cost to you. But here, the only one person going to develop this application. And the next thing, portable and web browser based. So what is portable in the sense? So let's say I am developing an application for my client. I need to get the system analyst first. So how they are going to use, what's the software, what's the OS they are going to use, or they are going to use mobile or desktop. So if we take desktop, there are so many operating systems, Windows, Linux, Mac OS. So if you are developing .NET based Windows platform, it will work on Windows only. So we need to develop another platform for Linux and Mac OS. So that application won't work in the mobile or mobile OS, Android or iOS. So at that time, we need to develop another mobile application to fulfill their requirement. But if you take this Apex, this is a very portable. So portable in the sense, this is a very web browser based. So anywhere from anywhere, we can simply access it by like a website or web browser based application. Even if it's in the cloud, we can just type the address or type the application URL. We can access from anywhere in the world, and simpler and faster. Yes. So in the lab session, you will get to know how fast is this. So basically, if we take normally, if we let's say we are going to develop a basic application with 2 text fields to drive the data, driven the data from the database, and sorry, driven the data from the database or send the data to the database. So it will take, even if you are familiar or expertise in the development field, it will take around 30 or 1 hour. It's a minimum. So normally it will take 2 to 5 hours with a 2 text box or 3 text blocks to develop the database and to connect with the database, and after that sending data and receiving data. Even though I am pretty sure you will get a lot of issues or some issues, even though if you are expertise in that field. But with this Apex, I can make sure to develop that application within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, we can develop the application without any issues. So database and the coding, it will automatically generate in the backend. We can just drag and drop it. And by clicking a simple create application button, we can create a world-class application within 5 minutes. Below 5 minutes, we can able to create it. So in the lab session, I am able to show that one. And the final thing, basic SQL knowledge is enough. Yes. So if we take our traditional method of database programming, we need to have a lot of SQL knowledge to receive, or even if the application is not working, we have to log into the database and see how it's working with the queries or performance maintenance we need to do. But in this Apex, the basic SQL knowledge is more enough to troubleshoot or to develop this application. So now you all know about low code application and Apex. So one of the low code application is Oracle Apex, and you know what is Oracle Apex. So okay, let's see how we can get the Apex workspace. So actually Apex Workspace is the place where we are building application on top of the database, objects such as tables, views, and more objects to store data. So Apex Workspace is the IDE. So if we take our coding, we have a huge number of IDEs, right? Such as Visual Studio, Android Studio, NetBeans, so many things. So here it's called Apex Workspace. That's a thing we are using to develop our application in cloud or on-premise. That's called Apex Workspace. So again, I'm reading this one. Apex Workspace is the place where we are building application on top of the database objects such as tables, views, and more objects to store data. Okay, so in the Apex, you all, I hope you know this one have on-premise and cloud as well. So in cloud, you can see always free tier. These always free tier and cloud thing, just listen, I will show in the lab session. So in cloud, you can, in the Oracle Cloud, there's an option called always free tier. So that means Oracle Autonomous Database, Oracle is giving for free with a limited restriction. So we can just easily create our Oracle Apex in the cloud, or else we must need Oracle VirtualBox App Development VM, and we need to install Apex latest version in our laptop or desktop. So if we are going for the cloud version, we have a always free tier. Otherwise, we need to install Oracle VirtualBox App Development VM in our laptop, and we need to install Oracle Apex latest version to the VM. I am moving on to my next slide. Okay, so in this case, I am sure you will have a doubt. So how about the licensing? Is it free or is it a paid version or what I think? So if you see Apex is always free. So in the always free in the sense, it's only for free development and running application, not for production apps. We can just test this, or we can use our simple application inside our organizations, or else we can use for lab practice. So always free tier or always free database autonomous with 1 OCPU and 20 GB of storage. If you go for the Oracle Cloud infrastructure, you will get this amount of always free database for Apex. Otherwise, you need to upgrade your Apex account as pay as you go with 1 OCPU and 1 TB of extended storage you can pay as you want. Apex.oracle.com is for free for development and running application, not for production apps. So you can simply create your application and you can test it. Even you can use for your lab practice or else for any basic application inside your organizations. Okay, so let's move on to the always free Oracle Autonomous Database. So 3 things we have to define before we go to the lab session: low code, Oracle Apex, and Oracle Autonomous Database. So if we come to Oracle Autonomous Database, it's always free. So what is Oracle Autonomous Database? So until 2018, I think Oracle has various kind of databases. So at that time, if we have any issues or if we have any problem, we need to create our SR or DBA should troubleshoot on the database. So after that, Oracle has introduced Oracle Autonomous Database. So autonomous in the sense, you can get the meaning. It's mean it's pre-built or predefined or pre-configured. So Oracle Autonomous Database in the sense it's a pre-configured and pre-secure database. It's fully manageable database. So what is Oracle Autonomous Database? It's a normal Oracle database with the features of pre-configured, secured, and fully managed. So Oracle database is freely available in the Oracle Cloud. It's a cloud-based technology designed to automate many of the routine tasks required to manage Oracle database. Oracle sales can free up database administrator to do higher level and more strategic work with this autonomous database. So in my definition, Oracle Autonomous Database is pre-configured, secured, and fully managed database, which allows you to build application on top of this for an unlimited time for free, introduced in early 2019. And Apex can be built in both autonomous transaction processing and autonomous data warehouse. So if we take the database, there's a two workload types. One is transaction processing and one is data warehouse. In the both workload type, Apex can be built on top of autonomous database. Okay, so when we try to build an Apex application, just 4 steps is enough to build the Apex database. So first thing is we need to have a free autonomous database. So in this step, I have mentioned Apex on always free autonomous database. Actually, we don't need to create the autonomous database manually. Even we can create the autonomous database or database management automatically by logging into apex.com, or else we need to create the database first and we need to convert it to Apex. So later in the lab session, I will show you. And second thing, upload data from file or use SQL. So once we created the database or tables, we can simply upload the data through Apex such formats, JSON, XML, or CSV Excel formats, or else we can use SQL to load the data or create the tables or modify the tables and develop the application. So in the third step, develop the application. In the sense, you will think, so there should be a hand coding or coding to develop this application. Actually, no. In the develop the application is just a button to create the application. And run the application, it's also similar to develop the application. It doesn't have any debug or anything. Just click on the run button. We can simply run it and test it in our environment. Okay, so create Apex database. Apex on always free autonomous data is very simple, very simple. by comparing our traditional database models or traditional CAN coding application, we can easily create within 5 minutes. Okay, so let's build an Oracle Apex application with autonomous database. So if you have labs in your hand, you can do it. Before that, I need to inform a couple of things. So I will share my screen. So oracle.com. So here, if you don't have any active Oracle Apex account, you can get started for free. In the registration process, you might need to give a credit card. And if it's your free first time, you will get around 400 or 300 Singapore US dollars. I am not pretty sure. I think it's 400 Singapore dollars for 1 month. Otherwise, you will always use the always free tier for unlimited time. So I already have an account. So I just sign in it. So first I will show what's my scenario. So in the application express or Oracle Apex Workspace will look like this. So app builder, SQL workshop, team development, app gallery. So with this app builder only, I'm going to develop my applications. So with this SQL workshop, I can troubleshoot or I can check my database queries and everything. In this team development, what is this? If you're developing your application with 2 or 3 members or so many members in your team, you can do it like what we are doing in Visual Studio. Just share the code or share the workspace with your college and you can do the development. And in this app gallery, I will show in the later, we have pre-defined templates for the apps. So we can just install the app to our workspace and we can modify it. Okay, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is I have a CSV file. I will show my CSV file. I have some demo data. I don't have data, sorry. I have some columns. I want to make a donation campaign. So I'm going to create a donation campaign or a donation request form with Apex. Okay. So first I said in my presentation, we can use 2 ways to create this Apex. First is apex.oracle.com to create our Apex application, or else first we can create our autonomous database in the Oracle Cloud, and after that we can convert it to Oracle Apex web application. So first I'm going to show you the thing how to create Oracle Apex application with Apex Workspace. So I will click on this app builder. Before that, there are so many versions available on-premise and Apex database. So we can simply, you can go to help and about. By looking this, you can get to know what are the workspace version, product build version, patch version, or DDL time. So many things you can get to know about this one. Okay, so I'm going to create an application with my CSV file. So here you can see a lot of applications available. This application previously I created, and this application currently customers are using. So I'm not going to touch this one. So I just create it. And it will ask create an application, new application from a file, a productivity app. So in this step, you can able to see, so new application in the sense, everything it's gonna new. So we are going to build the application from the scratch. So I don't want this one. At the time being, I'm going to import my CSV file to the workspace and I'm going to edit it. So I'm going to choose from a file. my file is CSV, or else you can use Excel or XML or JSON file. In the later version, so many database and the other file supported will be available. So otherwise, you can just install a productivity app available in the market now. So I will show you this way later. So first, for the time being, I'm going to insert my CSV file here. So from a file, either you can drag and drop the file, or you can choose the file and demo data. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I have chosen a wrong file. From a file and choose file. This is my file. Okay, so once I chosen the file, it's loaded. So this file is loaded. You can see, actually, I don't have any data in my CSV file. So you can see the file headers or the file columns are loaded. So now what I'm going to do is, with this step, I'm going to create the same column or the same column as CSV file in the autonomous database. So it's asking, I'm going to create a new table, or I'm going to use an existing table. So if you choose existing table, we have lot of tables available in our autonomous database will show. Otherwise, we have to create a blank new table. So in this case, I'm going to create a blank new table. So this is my table owner, and my table name is donation request. And column separator is this comma separator. Okay, and I'm going to load data. I don't have any data to load, so just loading the data. So the table donation request created with 0 rows. So if you see, for this step only, I think if we go for the manual database procedure, almost 15 to 30 minutes. If you are expertise, you will get 15 to 30 minutes of time to develop this database. If I am not sure, you can try it with 1 or 2 minutes. If you are able to create a database, that's fine. But it's just created within a second. I think it doesn't exclude 1 minute. Within a 1 minute, it's created the table called table donation request. So if you want, you can view the table, or else I can create the application. So straight away, I'm going to create the application. So the application is creating. This table is created in the autonomous database, which is available in my cloud. I will show you. Okay, so now it's asking my donation request application name. So here I am putting Apex donation. So whatever the familiar name, Apex donation, and here a lot of appearances are available. So at the time being, I am using the default one. And if you are gonna add some more pages, so these are the pages it's going to be visible in the application. So at the time being, I am using the default thing. If you want, you can add so many pages as you want. And I'm going to click about page, access control, and theme style selection. As you want, you can just click it or just select it. You can create so many pages. And application ID, if you want, you can change it. I'm not going to change this. And schema, I have in my cloud, I have only one schema. So I'm going to use this schema. And authentication. So this authentication in the sense, so while we are running this application for the live environment, how it's gonna authenticate with database. So I'm going to use application, Oracle Application Express accounts. We have so many languages, and user interface also, I'm going to use the default one. So if you want to customize this one, you can do as you want. If you have free time, actually, you try this one. It's a very best thing you can do for create simple application or in a critical situations to get customer data, or even if your main system is down, you can just take the columns or whatever the data from the database and you can create this application for the short time period. So I'm going to create this application. So now application is creating in my cloud or in the Apex Workspace, creating report and all pages. Okay, so now you can see application, something name, Apex donation, and some interfaces are there with pages, home, and those things. So what is this? Now the application is completed, or this application is created. So as I mentioned in earlier, this is, I think now the application is almost created. So I think it took almost 5 minutes to create the database and application and load the data, everything. And now almost the basic application development is finished. Within the 5 minutes, I have finished the application. So just we see whether my application is available. Click run application and this will open the runtime application in a new browser tab and allow you to enter or see the application. Or just I am running this application like debugging. So it will ask the credential to login. So these are my Apex credential. Just I am logging it. Yes. So 2 report portals are available. So here you can see the create button. So these are the things I just added through the CSV file. These are the columns. So I think if we want to create the traditional application like this with our traditional hand coding, such as with our traditional hand coding programming language, even ASP.NET or PHP or whatever the language, I am pretty sure it will take around 30 to 1 hour like that. But here you can see within 5 minutes, the application is created. So it's ready to use also, but I'm going to customize this one. So before that, I'm going to show you another couple of things to play. Before to play with this application, we will see our database side. So here SQL workshop. So this is the thing which allows us to see our database or to work with our database. So I click this one. It will direct you to the database where this application table is implemented, or it will direct to the autonomous database where this application is implemented. Okay, so if you take the object browser, so I think my my table name is donation request. See, you can just see the data. There's no data. ID number, it's automatically taking. I didn't define ID or anything. So other all, it automatically take varchar to data type. So this date and those things, I need to mobile number. It doesn't mean to have a varchar 2. I need to modify it to a different data type. So let's do it. Without touching this database part, I'm going to use, or I'm going to change it through my application site. Okay, so so this is the application button where I'm going to insert the things. So if we see, as you are familiar with this one, this data is a normal text type. These all fields are in the normal text type. So we will customize it. So first I'm going to customize the data type. So how to customize this one? So now we don't have any active developer window to customize this one. So what we can do is simply click on this create button, and this okay, now this window is open or pop-up is open, and in the bottom you can see edit page 4. So that's mean we are in the page number 4 and it's asking to edit me. So let's see, I am closing this one and I am returning to my donation request report portal. So it's changed, edit page 3. So that's mean whatever the page we are in active, it will direct to edit my page, or it will allow me to direct allow me to edit. So create it, and I am going to edit the page number 4. So it's opening in a new window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this date data field to date type or date data type. So here you can see text area. I'm going to change its date picker. And for the mobile number, I'm going to change as number field. And full name I can use whatever the text field. Just I put text field. Okay, so now I'm going to save this application. So if we consider our web-based application, what we need to do if we are doing some changes in the backend, we definitely need to refresh our window, or sometimes it won't affect even in the refresh also. But here with this application, it have auto refresh in the backend. So no need to refresh the web page, or no need to close the web page and open. I'm just taking the create without doing any changes in the web interface. You can see it's changed. It's automatically changed. This field automatically changed. So that's mean whenever we are saving in the backend, the changes are automatically refreshed and automatically taken in the active window. So I'm going to insert a basic demo data. And email address. City Colombo, country Sri Lanka, and developer, and company called Oracle, and donation maybe this one also I need to define for number or price currency. For the time being, I just insert 500 or 5,000. So you can see another additional column. Maybe in my CSV file there's a 1 comma, so it additionally took the another blank column name. So I need to delete this one as well. So I'm going to create this one. So the very first data is inserted into my database. Okay, so first thing I need to delete this column from my page. What I can do is just come to bottom and select this column and right click it and delete it. So now this one won't available in my active application. Yeah, it's available. Oh, sorry, I didn't save this one. So just save it. Sorry, and you can see the column is still available. Yeah. Yes, now I cannot see the column here. So by using this graphical user interface, I just deleted the column and the column called column, and it's deleted from the database. So if we go to our SQL or our database management, I am opening this my table and data. So you can see my data was inserted into the table. So I think this is a very basic application created within 5 minutes of time. So this kind of application we can just create it within a second or within a minute, we can create like this kind of application without any cost. So if we go to hand coding for this application, it will take around 1 hour to complete this application. So here I don't see any longer, no longer than 5 minutes. Okay, so we'll do some modification in this application. So what we can do is, what I'm going to do is, such as I'm going to select the city. So here we are going to manually enter the city, right? So what I'm going to do is this city field, I'm going to enter 2 or 3 cities, and I'm going to select the city from the 4th onwards. I'm going to select the city from this application without entering it. I'm going to select it. So I will create another. I'm going to insert another data. 22 luxury and luxury. And city, I'm going to insert as county, Sri Lanka, position developer. For the time being, I just insert the data. I don't have any data. I plan to insert some data, but some of your guys knows from today morning, I have some issues with the Apex. So two rows are added, and I'm going to add another row as well. And so I'm going to insert this one as well. So as Hasri is so rich person, he is giving 10,000 donation. Okay, so I have inserted 3 data. So from the 4th onwards, I'm going to select this city from the select field. So how I'm going to edit this one? Okay, so as you know, edit application page. And so what the field I'm going to select from the database, city field. So I am just selecting it. Oh, sorry. And here type, I'm going to select list. And here type is, I'm going to put a SQL query. So select city, oh sorry. City. So my table is demo data, right? No. Yes, I'm going to take my table up. This is demo donation request. Sorry, from donation queue. Select this thing from donation request, order by 1. Select. Okay, so here I'm going to put this one as well. If you are DBA, you will be able to know this one, why I am putting this one. City or from donation request order by 1. Okay, so this is my SQL query to select the city without typing it. So display extra values, I'm going to off this one. Save it. Select. Okay. So I'm going to run this application again to see whether it's correct. Okay, so now you can see the city field is changed to select list. So why I have changed this one? So we are going to run this report with this Apex. So let's say our clients or our customers, they will do some mistakes, right? So if anyone, if they add the Colombo with a spelling mistake, so such COLOMBBO, so it will take as another city. In the database, it will take as another city. Or even if you, for the candy, if someone put KANDI, so it will take candy as a different data or different row of data. So in the report, it will match. For to minimize the error, I chosen this city to select list from the database. Okay, so now the basic application is ready, and I am running this application on top of my Oracle Autonomous Database. So, okay, let's see the application again. So I'm going to the home page again. So here you can see donation request report. So I'm going to take this report in a different level. Without this, at the time, I'm going to show you another thing as well. So for these data, I'm going to retrieve or I'm going to download. That also is possible. Even we can email it. We can email it or we can download it. I'm just going to I'm going to download it with PDF format. So we can choose an A4 portrait and download it. So these kind of additional utilities. So you can see here you can get this report freely in the PDF format. So if you take the traditional hand coding to develop these options to get this report in CSV format or HTML format or Excel or whatever format, we have to have number of lines, huge number of lines, and we have to define and we have to check whether it's working and a lot of things. Even to send in email, we must need to have an email gateway or email API to send a lot of things. But here, I don't want anything. We can just, from the action button itself, we can retrieve the data into our local machine. Okay, so I'm going to take this report in a different pattern rather than getting this report in this format. I'm going to take this report in a different format, like maybe can take with chart. So we can take with pie chart and label. I'm going to take with full name and the value. I'm going to take ID and function count and sort with ascending order. So I'm going to apply it. Okay, so you can see actually this doesn't mean, because 3 names I'm going to take. I just take the 3 amount. Without this, I can put labeling with donation, count, ascending. So here I just took it, but if you are going for the biggest database or biggest project with a budget, those kind of things, you can able to see the actual report with a different kind of pie chart. So in the donation request search, you can without if you have huge number of rows, you can just search it by entering any keyword. And in the administration panel, next administration panel, you can get the theme selection, or else if you are a developer, you can add users or you can make them access control as well. So here, simply you can add some users or you can multiple users and you can edit them. What are the fields they need to access, or they are contributor, or they are readers, or whatever the things you can simply do with these steps. For the time being, I'm not going to use this. Maybe for our upcoming sessions, we can go further on this one. And okay, so in the page designer screen or page designer interface, there are all the pages available, and page search, and even you can customize it with some buttons or whatever the color pickers. So many things available. If you go one by one, you can able to get it. Okay, so these are the basic of the Apex application development with the Apex Workspace. Okay, so as I told you earlier, there's another method to create this one. So these are before go to Oracle Autonomous Database. So these are the pages available in the in my application. So here you can choose the application or edit pages. Or we can easily, so let's say this is you have created for your one of the customer, and another customer is requesting the same application like this. You can just copy it, copy this application, and you can choose it. And let's say in the traditional hand coding method, if we need to take a backup of the application, we might need to have an application backup and database backup as well. So here you can choose manual backups or automated backups. Simply create the backup, comments after blank application for your description, and I'm going to application backup it. And if something goes wrong tomorrow after this, you can simply click on the action and restore it. Or you can either download this as well, and you can see view detail. So what is this application backup is about. So these all the things. So the backup and maintenance is the very best the thing in the risk management tool. So at this kind of backup, you can see within one click, you can get this backup in the utilities. So the application is completed, and in this application, you can see upgrade application or debug messages. So a lot of things available. If you have any time or in the upcoming meetups, we can go through one by one. So this is the application. If you go to app builder, you can see a number of applications which I have built earlier. Okay, so I'm going to build another application without any new application or from a file. I'm going to application with a template. This is a productivity app which already predefined by Oracle and available in the market. So I just click on it, and you can see there are a lot of apps available. So if your application development of the app which you are going to develop the app, if it's similar to this kind of app, you can simply click on the app, and it will show what is this application is about and how this application is developed. It will show one by one. You can just go through it, and if your application or the application which you have planned is similar to this one, you can simply install this app. And it's asking where it's need to application authentication, and workspace name labs demo, and schema is I have only one schema. So I'm going to install this database or install this app into my workspace. So you can see this is a predefined or pre-developed application available in the apps. How the application is Supporting object previously installed. Yeah, it's I think it's already installed. So creating it, productivity app, and I'm going to take customer tracker and install. Next. And it's installing this application in my Apex Workspace. So just what I need to do is, now this application is in my workspace. So I need to just edit the fields and data only. So all the things, database and the application is available itself. Those are predefined applications available in the Apex productivity market. So it will take some time to install in my application. Okay, so now the application is installed. So without go to app builder, I can straight away run this application. Here it will ask the access control, user, sample data, and those things in the first step. I don't want to add anything or customize anything. I just complete setup. So you can see within a minute, a customer tracker application is available, and you can see queue. It's very, very beautifully customized. And what you have to do is, you have to edit these fields only. All the things, it's available itself. Just you can see, just I'm adding a contact. It's asking. So how beautifully it's programmed. So up to this level, you can customize this kind of Apex applications. And you can see the reports as well. So it has some basic sample data. So that's why it's pretty good here. So up to this level, so more than this level, you can customize this application. So if you have free time, you can just try it at yourself at home or office. Here, see, even you can go through the customer level and you can get it, how customer is get in touch with the company. It's auto suggestion, it's a content completely weak or validated. So many things you can do it with the productivity apps predefined itself in the Apex market. All right, so again I am proceeding to home. So I hope now you have a basic idea what is low code and what is Oracle Apex and how it's work. Okay, so let's see how we are going to create an application with our autonomous database. So first, you saw I just came to the apex.oracle.com to create my application. But in this step, I'm going to choose Oracle Cloud Infrastructure or Oracle Cloud Portal to log in. So this is my Oracle Cloud account. I am using the free account. So it will pop up, I think it's a free and you need to upgrade. I'm not going to upgrade at the time being. So here you can see Oracle Autonomous Database or Apex Application Development. If you see Apex instance, I have 2 instances running. Those are free Apex instance with 1 OCPUs and 1 TB of storage. So you can simply create the Apex services. So that means the Apex Autonomous Database freely. I'm not going to create it right now because it will take some time since it's 1 OCPUs. So I'm going to use the created one. It already created this one. So I'm going to use the Oracle SQL Developer Web to troubleshoot it. So this is my Oracle database utility portal to troubleshoot my database. And after you create this one, you can simply launch Apex, or else you can go to the Apex instance and you can launch Apex it instead of creating Apex with the Apex portal. It also same procedure what we have done with the CSV file. So this is my Apex component or Apex application autonomous database component available in the autonomous Oracle Cloud. Okay, so in the next few steps, I'm going to show you some Apex. So now we have logged in and we have created the application. We have modified it and we have created the app from the app gallery. And I show you the things how we have we can troubleshoot the things with this one. These all are tables, and within the object browser, I'm going to choose my donation request table. So even this one, you can simply create this app. So what that means, without go to Oracle Apex Workspace, from this one also you can create this app. Simply you can create and it will direct to the Oracle Apex Workspace and you can simply create it. So many ways to create this application freely. So Apex is good, I think. And you can, so these all are database troubleshooting or database level programming. You can simply download it or whatever you can do it. You can simply drop the column. So here I'm going to drop the column. So next, without coding or without a query, I just drop the column. And these all are my autonomous database tables available in my autonomous cloud. And other things in the app, with this predefined app, I'm going to manage them. Turn to application. So here you can see the change authentications. I have only one authentication method available, Application Express account. Or else we can use multiple authentications or multiple user authentication or OTP authentications as well. Maybe in the next sessions, we can organize for the deep level of Apex development. And in this application, further, what I can show you is Apex and App Builder. Okay, so in the workspace utilities, it will allow to export or web credential, even if you are resetting accounts or if you are creating another account, we can use it, or we can see the history, what's happening with the utility window, workspace utilization or dashboard. In the dashboard itself, it will provide the total summary of my application. So I have 8 applications and 284 pages and 2 productivity samples. So here itself you can see I have 2 apps which I have developed with predefined application, and you can see how the page events such they have how they are using and what is the application credential I am using. Those things simply without creating anything or without a hand coding, we can simply get it from the dashboard itself. And password items, So in the tab, you can see customize, so many customize application attributes, password items, authentication schema, security profiles. So if you want to make the application more secure, we need to customize it with application attributes or build an application status or security profiles. So depends on the internet speed, it will take some time. At the time being, I am clicking my 284 pages. So here you can see the password. Here by default it's showing at risk. So at risk in the sense, if we have a password, so normally the password have a requirement, right? 8 characters, low code, similar code. So if any password or any users have a password at risk, it automatically pop up. This password is at risk, and you can change it. Here auto compile. So I have for auto compile. Encrypt state is no. If you want, you can encrypt it and do not save state. So even if we type it to no, it won't allow to save the password. So many things I can take it, right? Even I can download this report. So to basic for a basic company or startup company, this is more powerful productivity app, I guess. So in that, okay, and there's a question: can Apex? So I think it's related to Active Directory, right? Yes, yeah. Can Apex application integrated with AD login? Yes, that's possible. We can use LDAP with Apex, or we can use our social as well. We can integrate it with Active Directory logins as well. Maybe in next upcoming session, we can try to do a session with Active Directory or with single sign-on session to authenticate the applications. So I hope Nehara got the idea. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so more than this, why and if we come why Oracle Apex for the basic and in a small level business. Another question. Build enterprise application. Okay, so another question from the user. He is asking, so he is using a third-party database server or third-party application server. Is this possible to connect with Apex with a third-party server? Yes, that's possible. That's possible to connect with a third-party server such as AWS or Azure or whatever the things. And another question, if we create app using Apex, we can use it for non-commercial purpose only. So yes, the answer is yes, but if you need to use the standard license, or you need to upgrade the license to pay as you go. Okay, and for the time being, I will pose the other question. Maybe we can answer it in the Q&A session. So these are the reports, report portal and utility portal. And if you are a UI lover, you can change it with a theme summary. there are a lot of themes available, or else you can import your themes as well from JSON file or any other files. So these are the top. So here I have only one user. This is my user. So if you are sharing this application with your team or with the customers, you can take the top users here. So who is using, even you can, this dashboard is for the admin, or else we can customize for the others as well. Okay, so I think that's all about the Apex and Apex development. Hope you guys have enjoyed with this session, how we can create a basic application with a file in the Oracle Autonomous Cloud. In the later session, so upcoming session, we can include some more other topics, such as if you have any concerns, you can simply put it in our group and you can email it. So we can add the sessions in upcoming sessions. So another thing, so after finish this session, someone will think, oh yes, this is like Google Form or Microsoft Forms, Microsoft Office Form. So why we need to use Oracle Apex? So we can simply use it our Google Form freely or Microsoft Office Form free. So why we need to use this one? So actually you're right. You can use, if you are going to develop an application like what I did today, it's Google Form or Microsoft Form is more enough. But if you go ahead with some database levels or world-class level of application, at that time you might need to have a Oracle database or Oracle app. This application will help. So in today I have included this session only a basic. Only the basic session of the Oracle Apex and how we are creating the basic application only, because so many customers or so many people in the group just put a direct message what is Apex, and they don't have a clear idea about Apex. So if they don't have a clear idea about Apex, so I cannot go to the second level or the advanced level of Apex. So that's why I plan to do the basic step or basic of the Apex with the autonomous database. So later on in our upcoming session, we can plan it and we can include some other professionals or expertise, and we can go through with a advanced level of app builder. So that's all for my presentation, and we can just simply move on to Q&A session on discussion session. So in this session, I think our DBA experts are available. I can introduce Asiri Ranatunga, Laxri, and Lion Lokumarna, and Damitri is available in this session. Before that, I have a couple of questions from you guys. I have answered to this question. We have created Apex. Can it use for non-commercial purpose? Yes, I answered. And there's another question. Can we deploy it with our customized JSON file? Can we use graphical user interface customized? Yes, that's possible. You can use your own JSON customized file to implement a customized database. Is it a mobile friendly? Yes, this is a mobile friendly. If you take this application or this interface or this web browser based in your mobile, it will these margins and everything, it will schedule like mobile interface, and this will work like mobile. It will work perfectly in the mobile. Customer, can we download the data from the? Yes, that's possible. So I think I showed you. No issues. I can show you again. So here in the data. So I think your question is this: can we download the data only from the autonomous database. Yes, that's possible. Simply you can go to the database object browser. Wait. Apex SQL workshop, and here my table is donation request or whatever the table. You can simply go to data and you can download it. So here you can see donation CSV file is downloaded with database. Here you can download as you want. If we are running application, yes, that's also possible. So another question from the audience. So if we have a running query or SQL query, and if we need to take that query output from the application interface, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. How it's possible in the sense, so I'm going to run this application again. Donation request. So once I run this application, you can see the edit page, create it, and in the edit page itself, so I have modified the column called city, right, to select this query. So the question is, the key is asking whether is it possible to check our query through the application. Yes. So in the SQL query itself, you have a tab called code editor. So just click it, and this is my code, and go to code builder and create. So whatever the code, donation request is my table. I'm clicking this one, and SQL. You can select it, and I'm going to run this command, run this query, and you can see three of my cities are available, rows. So this is what you expect, I guess. From the application interface itself, you can able to check your query whether it's correct or wrong. And another question, how to get the public URL? Yes, sorry, I didn't mention that one in my session. Okay, so once my application is finished, so I'm going to run this application, right? So simply once I run this application, it's direct to my home page, right? So this is the application URL for public. You can simply take it, or else otherwise what you can do is you can share with your colleague or someone else with administration and manager and user groups, and you can add or create a user, and once you add it, he will notify with the identification how with a link, it's saying whether your application is ready to access or something. Is it possible? There's another question called, is it possible to revoke a certain page from a user? Yes, that's also possible. So if you come to page, so let's see in the donation request. It's my donation request. Yeah. So let's see, I'm going to hide this from my user. So here with this one, oh no, from not this one, from the roles, administration, manage user groups. here, I'm going to end user. Yes, here you can simply turn off it, or else what you can do is you can give a role to them, whether he is administrator or user. If he is a user, he cannot able to get the edit page. So that's what you're asking, right? If we are going to add edit, yes, that's a question. So another question, I think I already answered for that question. Can we take the data from the autonomous database? So I think I already answered for that question. Another question, can we add external users from our domain? Yes, that's possible. That's definitely possible. We can create the multiple users, or we can create any of the users with the email account or whatever the account with exclude from the Active Directory. And another question, it's possible to run as okay, you cannot do that one. Another question, can we download this one as APK or IPS to implement as Android application? No, actually this is not possible, because this is a web-based application. So this is basically it's predefined to use with mobile users as well. So we cannot take this application as APK or IPS software. As I know, I cannot able to take this one. Let's see if I think, I don't think so. I can get this one application as an APK. Okay. And another question, can we invoke external web services from Apex? Yes, that's possible. We can invoke external web services that are SOAP or whatever the Salesforce. I recently developed with a Salesforce application, so that's possible. Another question, can we create the app? What is the end user URL to access the app? How to get it? So I think I already informed you. You can simply send a email, or by include the email, it already send the application URL to them. Does it include all the features in locally installed version as well? Yes, it have all the features. Whatever the features available in the cloud version, same features will be available in the on-premise as well. If I already have an resources in local, any advantage just to go for local, cloud version. So if you have application in local, yes, the thing. First, what you can do is you can simply import your application. You can simply export your application to cloud. So what are the benefits in the sense? You can simply access it from anywhere. And if you take the autonomous cloud database, you don't need to worry about the database management, and anywhere it's secured. So the advantages of cloud will impact in this question as well. So another question, what is the latest version available for Oracle Apex? So for the cloud, to 20.2.0 is available. This is the latest version. Can I deploy it with Oracle 11G? Actually, Oracle 11G is still available in the cloud. But if you are developing with Oracle Autonomous Database, I am not sure whether you can able to do it, because Oracle Autonomous Database is, I think it's come with 19C. I think so, it's come with 19C. So I am not sure. Maybe if someone else aware of that question, you can answer it.
Yeah, go ahead. This is Asiri. So
Yeah.
if you are asking that 11G Apex, they have that Apex, not the cloud one. That
Yeah,
on-prem
on-premise one.
build a Apex form, but those are very old one, and but you can create the application, but it's a very easy way to create one. But those are not. Those are, I think, 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
So G is a 10 years old. So yes, they have 11G version for Apex. That is not a 20 or something. The version might be very old one, but you can install in your on-prem database, not in a.
Yes, correct. Thanks, Asri. And another question from the same user. He is asking, I have on-prem 11G database, and if I develop a Apex application in the on-premise database, is there any possibilities to upgrade my on-premise database to autonomous database? I think that's possible. You can simply take your data backup, and there are several ways to upgrade it to autonomous database. And once your database is upgraded to autonomous database, you can simply create the application in the Apex Cloud. So another question, how firewall and network security affect the Apex development? Okay, so for this question, I can simply say this is related to the Oracle Cloud virtual cloud network. So however you are developing your virtual cloud network, you can give the access to the Oracle Cloud. So if you are allowing the ports or the public IP addresses, you can access it from public or whatever the thing. So this question is related virtual cloud network, I guess. So how you are implementing your virtual cloud network? So another question, how we can get the end user URL to access the app. So I already answered for this question several times. You can simply add the user, and user will get notified it, or else you can simply get the URL of the application and you can share it. But the user or the person need to have the Apex authentication credentials. And another question, if I develop the Apex application locally in my laptop, can I import it with CSV file? No, actually you cannot convert the Apex application into CSV file, but what you can do is you can take the data from the database and convert it to CSV file, and you can upload it. Again, I will read that question again. I have a Apex application in my laptop. Can I convert my Apex application to CSV file, and can I upload it to Apex Cloud? I'm not aware, but I think you can take your data and convert it to CSV file, and then you can upload your CSV file to the cloud or Apex, and you can create it. I am not sure whether you can create the Apex, you can convert the Apex application to the CSV is not possible. With the database, you can convert it, and after that, you can create the Apex application in the interface. So another question, what are the advantages of using Oracle Cloud Autonomous Database? Yes, actually, the advantages, in the sense there are so many advantages. No need of database management by a DBA or anything. It's automatically predefined and secured, more secured. And if we come to Oracle Autonomous Database, there are several predefined tools available to take backup, and even if we have any issues in the database, it fixes itself automatically. So There are a lot of advantages available. So another question, I am using a C# application with SQL Server. Can I migrate it to Oracle Apex? Yes, actually, this is also same question like previous. What you can do is simply you can take the Oracle SQL database backup or data to CSV file and import it through CSV file. And after that, you can develop the Apex application. So I think within a very fast, you can do this one. I have Oracle Cloud application and my database is in a AWS server. So I have developed this application with the previous hand coding application. So how can I convert my AWS database into Apex? So this one also similar question like earlier. What you can do is you can simply take the database backup and once you import, it will give you the Apex application. After that, you have to modify it if you have any changes or anything. And you have asked, what about the downtime? So if you are using in a different platform, you don't need to worry about the downtime, right? So once this application is, until this application is ready, you can, since you can use the previous AWS application. So I don't think so this application development will take so higher time to develop. Does it include all the features in locally installed Azure? Yes, I already answered this question. Yes, it's possible. If I have a Cloud Tier account, free version, can I use this Apex for university purposes? Actually, this is possible. 20 GB is available, and you can use the always free tier account for your lab purposes or anything. You can simply take it. Can I use the same autonomous database to 3 or 4 applications? Yes, that's possible. That you can even use the same schema, or you can even use the same table as well. That's possible. How the auditable history is possible? Yeah, it's the another question. How the audit history in the database, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. You can take it. What we normally do in the database level administration, you can take it with a timestamp or timestamp. You can simply take it the history. Another question. What are the advantages of traditional coding and low coding? Actually, I already informed this one in my presentation. So it's faster and more secure, and no need to write 1,000 lines of code. Even though another advantages, I can simply say, if you take the development IDs such as Visual Studio, Android Studio, you cannot uh, install it in a normal version. Normal machines, in the sense 2 GB or 3 GB of machine, you cannot install it. You need to have a maximum capacity or capable of machines. But if you take sorry, Apex development, this is a web browser based, like 1 or 2 GB of RAM is enough. Even if you have the capable of high network speed, that's more enough to access these applications. So another question, if I develop the application and if I need to implement it only inside our office only, not from the outside, is it possible? So what you can do is, for this kind of development, you need to create a firewall, or you need to create a virtual cloud network, Oracle virtual cloud network or VPN to do this one. So at that time, you cannot able to, if you revoke the access from the outside, if you are unable to do it. Is there any possibilities to do the free sessions in Apex Cloud and Autonomous Cloud so far? Yes, that's possible. I think For this question, Asri or Laksri will inform you. The one person, one audience is asking, is there any training or free sessions to learn Apex freely through this DBA group?
Yeah, Gohulan, we will check that because he's asking for the this kind of a session. No, I don't know what is the request.
Yes, I think that he is asking whether it's possible to do the continuous sessions on Apex or autonomous cloud database to get trained.
Yeah, definitely, because we are doing the sessions for your request. So if the request is high, so we are going with that kind of a thing, because we can do it within once in a month, because we can get an expert. I know that Gohulan is one of the expert in the Apex, but Oracle Corporation, they are doing some kind of summer sessions per once a month. I think Damitra would agree for that.
Yes.
So if we can continue, yes, we can do that. So yeah, the Gohulan is a Apex trainer, so he's doing that's there. So I definitely he will do that. Or else if somebody knows that so we have 100 200 in our group, so somebody if required to do some, they will do that. So this is your group, you can request, you can do whatever you want. So so there are plenty of Apex training in the YouTube also. You can go through that session if you require. Yeah, we will do that.
Yeah, thanks, Asri. And another question, Asri, it's actually not in the Zoom. They have sent it to my WhatsApp. The one person, I don't know, don't have his contact. He just sent this one. Why you are trying to contact these sessions in English? Since it's Sri Lanka, you can do it in Sinhala, right?
Definitely yes, but within this group we are discussing with in English, so because yes, I don't know, it's up to you, because I am not owner of this group. This is your group, so you can request whatever you want. This is the request. So yes, we can do whatever you want. If you want in Sinhala, the Gohulan can do that. If you want Tamil, he also can do that. If it is in English, he also can do that. So it is upon your request.
Yes. Thanks, Asri. And another question is related. What are the advantages of Microsoft SQL Server, and what are the advantages between Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle Autonomous Database? Actually, there are a lot of advantages available. By comparing Microsoft SQL Server, I prefer, is there anyone to answer this question?
Yeah, hi, this is Damitra. I think Gokulan, so I think what one main thing that we have to do next, I think, is a technical session on autonomous database.
Yeah.
Because I think most of them are asking about autonomous database features and all that.
Yes.
So let's do maybe let's plan the next session to do a deep dive on what autonomous database is and what are the key features, differentiators. Let's try to do that on a separate session.
Okay, thanks, Damit. So as Damit and Asri informed, we can go ahead with our session with autonomous database or Apex in later on for upcoming sessions. So another question, how to define the cloud version is 20 or 30? Actually, for the Apex, you can simply go to, if you see my screen, in the Apex builder, you can go to about tab and you can find the database or whatever the versions here. And he's asking what is the latest version of database available in the Oracle Cloud. Actually, it's a 21C. It's recently released. You can configure 21C is available in the Oracle Cloud, the latest version. And I think that's the end of the questions. And there are the two other questions in WhatsApp. I'm not sure who sent this one. There's a one guy, he's asking, I preferred Oracle Autonomous Database, but I am not sure these Sri Lankans are aware of Autonomous Database. But yeah, he's asking, he's telling that in Sri Lanka, all the persons are aware of Oracle Database, on-premise and cloud, but there's no one is aware of Autonomous Database. So could you please do our sessions in Autonomous Database? So already Damit said that one. In upcoming session, we will try to cover the Autonomous Database as well. So another question in WhatsApp. Okay, he's asking that if we share this application in public and two persons from a different time zone, two persons are from different time zone, and if they enter the data, what will happen? Actually, for this question, I don't think so. If they are from a different time zone, doesn't affect the database. So at the time of my database, so this database is in the Asian Pacific time. So whatever the time, it doesn't impact in my database. So it will take the cloud time zone. Is there any answers? Maybe Asri or Damit, you can answer for this question. He is asking if two person entered in the autonomous database, they are from in a different time zone, what will happen?
Yeah. So it will take the default time zone of the database.
Database, correct.
Even though the So let's say someone in a different time zone update, it's 7 p.m. for them. But if the database time is 7 a.m., the record will go in as 7 a.m.
7 a.m. Yes, correct. It depends on the tenant or whatever the availability domain is in the cloud.
So the time zone you can set. I mean, even though your database runs in, let's say, Frankfurt, you can put the Asia time zone. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
But the records will have the timestamp of the database time zone.
Yes, correct. Another question, can I call an external web service with Apex? Yes, you can call operation of web service with Apex using Apex classes page. You must first generate an Apex, and after that you need to have WSDL document. So maybe I think if I tell this one now, you will get bored because this is a basic thing. Maybe later on session we can do this one for the authentication and using web services or APIs, we can do it. There's another question. How long it will take to develop a Apex on-premise application? So this is depends on the machine performance or machine VM performance. With that performance, you can. It depends on your machine. And this Oracle Apex Cloud has also, it will take few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, but it depends on your internet speeds, you can get the result. So I think that's the end of my questions in the Zoom and WhatsApp as well. I don't see any questions so far in the chat box. Yes, that's the end of the questions. So I think I can end up with this one. Thank you for listening my session on Oracle Apex and Autonomous Database. I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Maybe later on, as you planned or as you requested, we can go ahead with the Autonomous or Apex databases. So, Asri?
Yeah, Gohulan. So Lakshri leave early because he has a some kind of a personal thing. So thank you, Gohulan. Thank you for your kind contribution for this session. So guys, thanks for you to join this session, because this is 2 hours of session. So we will conduct furthermore sessions in future. That is upon your request. So as I said, if you want, whatever you want, you have to discuss in the group. So I take this chance to thanks the participant, sorry, not the participant, actually. We have 200 of members in our group, but active members are very few. But thanks that active members. So you know who are the active members. I am not going to say names because I don't remember the names. So Luxury is the one who drive this group, because I initially I started this group, but I am not the one who run it, because I started it, that's only. So this is not my group, this is our group. So you can, so if somebody wants to do this kind of a session, please request through the group. So we will give you a chance to do that kind of a session, because we need to improve our DBA's capabilities. This is actually DBAs are not developers, but this kind of a tool can help you. This kind of a tool will help you to develop your own application. So I think we can have a free space in the cloud to develop this kind of a thing. So thank you guys to join this. Thank you, Gohalan, especially Damitra and Oracle team. Thanks for giving this workspace to do this session. So thank you all. We'll meet within another 2 weeks time. We will let you know within the group. So we will let you know another session. Damitra?
Yes, Ashish. So yeah, I mean, thank you very much, Gokula. It was a very informative session. Actually, we also learned a lot what can be done. So, and there were a lot of questions, and looking at the questions, I think we have to do a lot more on the database side also. Especially there were questions on autonomous database versions, a lot of things. I think there is a lot of work to be done. So let's plan at least every other week to have a session to educate the group. So thank you very much, everyone, and especially Gokulan, Asiri, and Laksiri for organizing it. So let's meet up next time. Thanks.
Thank you all.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone who joined this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Gokulan.